Good morning, traders. Please like the video if you get a chance. I appreciate those comments below if you guys are seeing something that I'm not seeing. So the big news overnight was that a couple little things. Trump, for one, making NVIDIA get a license to sell good chips, or the high-powered chips, to China. It's going to cost them $5.5 billion to sell chips to China. It's 5.5, yeah, something like that. And so that's a big drain on NVIDIA and their revenue possibilities for in regards to China. So, um, I thought for a long time that the chips, as powerful as they are, should be deemed as national security things and not openly sold overseas until we had proper defenses developed here in the country. And obviously, that is exactly what is happening this morning. Okay. So some things going on here. Markets are all down across the board here. Basically, we opened the week. We went up into this major resistance, which I talked about, and tried to break out. And what we're doing this morning, so far this morning, Monday and Tuesday lows is now uh, becoming highs this morning. Monday and Tuesday lows is becoming new resistance highs this morning. So we're actually potentially breaking down, working our way down to another support zone this morning. We are below 2-day uh, central pivot ranges this morning, daily central pivot ranges this morning. Okay, down here is our excuse me, central pivot range weekly high. We haven't actually tagged that yet, so there's a good chance that we can very easily come back down and a wick even lower here into that. That actually puts us in the bottom of our next support zone. Okay, into that weekly high. So obviously, I don't think the low is in quite yet, based on the way my at the very minimum, I don't think the low's in yet. It could be get worse here. Um, our market wave maker moved low for the week. Uh, our weekly central pivot is within that range, so this is very much in the cards. And as you can see here, this was resistance, resistance that became new support right here at the central pivot high. So I think there's a very good chance that we can be coming down to 52.50. So be very mindful of that. 52.50, very possible scenario if this were to continue to fly here in this morning session. Okay, so that's my quick and dirty takeaway of that one, and that still puts us within the expected move of the week if that were to play out. Okay, slash NQs. The big, like I said in the video, was one rattling the markets this morning in a big way. There might be other news out there, but I haven't watched the news this morning, so I just I got up late this morning. Okay, guys, so we lost a critical support. We were building new support Monday and Tuesday. Same situation is the Monday Tuesday lows is now becoming resistance. Monday Tuesday lows is now developing into new resistance. So be very mindful of that. Uh, other things. Uh, do, 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 do. Gotta go into daily 1 second here. I don't have the market maker moves on chart real quick. Let me draw those on my chart real quick for NQs. Okay. You have to do that in the daily time frame. Using this study, you have to do the daily time frame and then draw them wherever the levels fall. Draw them on your chart. Okay. And so there's the market maker move low, duplicate, and then the other important thing is Friday's close. Right there's Friday's close. Okay. Those are your two main things you need to this morning. I mean, it could all change, and the whole script could change here in just a few hours. But right here, right now, it's all looking bearish this morning. Okay, so be very mindful of that. And now I can go back to my 3 CPR times and back on the 1 hour. There you go. So we're right here. we're below Friday's close this morning, like I said, and you know, this week's central pivot, uh, the weekly central pivot uh, is located right within side of the market maker move low of the week. As you can see right here, there's a pivot pivots right here. This is resistant. This acted as resistance. This acted as resistance. Support. We came up. So there's a very good possibility that we're going to come down here and retest this central pivot, weekly central pivot zone, uh, at some point today. So let's be very mindful here. If we do get any type of range expansion, I would be looking for that scenario to play out here. Okay. Basically, the same thing. Same thing is going to be across the board. Early on this morning here, so we got action in Hood. Robinhood this morning. Looks like sell side action. Okay, I don't know what the news is on that. Let me see if I can. I don't have a news thing. Let's see if I can get use the news. Where's it at? Okay. Wow, there's quite a bit of news out here this morning. 1 second. Okay, the news here. Don't see any new breaking news on the news feeder here on Hood this morning. AMD this morning, really nice little rejection happening on AMD this morning. We're down into, so this is a move. Uh, right here was a critical resistance, and they tried to break out. That's right into that area right here, right now. So basically, this move up here, we're testing critical support as we speak here on the video, retesting this breakout here on AMD. I'm sorry. AMD right here. So that's pretty much what's going on. Back into the current week's central pivot. So, basically we've taken all the extra froth out of AMD. So any type of bullish action, this is basically neutral on the, so basically a 2-week time frame. So all the value built out this week is translated over into the central pivot ranges for this week. So that's basically 2 weeks of value. It's that's reflecting right there on the chart. FXI this morning, it shows it down just a little bit this morning. That's our China internets. So we've looked below early this morning. It looks like we might be breaking. It was a very weak move above. Okay, this is resistance. It looks like we went right straight through. We didn't find any support there. So this is a very worrisome that FXI could continue to falter, okay, off these highs. So be very mindful of that. And then next level down, yeah, this is this kind of looks quite dangerous here on the FXI. Your main support's down here, right here. It looks like we might not quite have even a hard test of support here on FXI. Intel Corporation, yeah, it's getting spanked here. The central pivot range on Intel Corporation, a lot of value all at the same price point. So there's no expansion of the value area, very low. This is not supportive for the on the weekly time frame. Okay, so it's you can't really think of it other than the fact it's bearish because you're underneath the central pivot range. Okay, so not supported at all. Alibaba, still bullish side of the weekly central pivot range. So you have that takeaway here. So bottom line is right here. You see these highs right here. That was resistance. We looked below this morning. We're back testing at this morning. This prior resistance, we're back testing at prior resistance this morning. Typically, come down, back test. You would be looking for a fade of the back test. So bottom line is a lot of these charts we're seeing the same thing. Look, we've broken critical supports and we're back testing early on this morning. So our primary thesis would be a fade of that back test. Okay, so just keep that in the back of our mind on all these things. These back tests, we're looking for fades of the back test. It may not play out, but that's what we will be looking for this morning. Is there anything else here on this one? It's just this one here hasn't broken yet. There's a critical. This became resistance. Okay, so Google hasn't broken. We're coming into the back test, so this is actually more bullish because we haven't actually broken the pivot yet. This is our pivot. We haven't broken down below that. But if that breaks down and it comes back up and back tests it, we would be looking for the short on that one. So far, it's still by the dip on that one. Apple, we've already looked below the pivot. Okay, we've already looked below this pivot. We're doing a back test. Be mindful of that. That's another one. Back test fail we're looking for. IWM this morning. Um, Here's our pivot right here. We've been stuck in this pivot for some time now. Okay, we've already looked below once and it recovered it. Uh, so or twice. So we've looked below twice and we've recovered it. Not really something that I want to be trading to the short side. So it's still looking constructive that they're still trying to break this higher. But like I said, multiple times now, it's looked below the pivot here, and they have defended it. Okay, so be mindful of that. Amazon. Other things we're looking at here on Amazon. So basically, there's a critical right there. Right there is a critical pivot. We're right into that critical pivot. We've kind of started looking below it a little bit this morning, but we are really into that critical pivot here on Amazon. Uh, Trying to make that into new support. Okay, very critical pivot here, and we're at central pivot range low. But so they're trying to defend Amazon early on this morning. We did have earnings out of one of the airlines last night. I think it was United. Airlines are on fire. The airline, I think it was United, UAL, I think. Yeah, United. United is gapping up this morning off its earnings. So be mindful of that. We had ASML report last night or this morning. So it is getting hit off of its earnings this morning. Be mindful of that. SMH in regard to that. SMH right into this pivot right here, critical pivot right here, trying to defend it early on this morning. So we've looked below the pivot. Okay. So we have looked below. Well, actually, no, we haven't. Right into last week's central pivot range. Yeah, very dangerous here. So ASML is failing this morning. Yeah, this really looks like it's going to be a failure on the semis this morning. So be very mindful of that. SMH. NVIDIA is the big thing this morning with the news on it. Really got spanked here. This is our pivot right here. Pivot right here. Pivot right here. This was defended. We're right into that area that got defended before. Okay. Will that become new support? We are trading above it. Okay. In my opinion, this is still by the dip early on this morning, but that can change in a heartbeat. So it still looks like a defended by the dip until proven otherwise. So we take out the overnight, the pre-market lows, then actually it becomes we're losing the support and we'd be coming down to our next level of support down here. That would be down into down here, 99.50. 99.50 would be our next major support, I think, on that one. Okay. So be very mindful of that if we were to start losing that support. Okay. I don't really want to talk about too much more here. Let's how's the bond market doing this morning? Zians. Not really. No surprise here on our bonds. VIX. I want to talk about the VIX this morning. VX futures. Okay, let me show you guys something on the VIX. So, guys, there's really something very important here. So we got a gap below us on the VIX, and we have a gap above us on the VIX. And the important thing I want to point out here, you see this green zone here? This is technically potentially a buy zone for VX futures. Yesterday, we defended that buy zone on VX futures. And how do I get that buy zone? Right here, guys. These prior highs right here. These prior highs right here. So basically, this is resistance. This is resistance. and we're finding that it might be becoming new support. Okay, so it's too early to tell if it's going to become new support, but this potentially is becoming new support in today's session. And so my main takeaway on the VX futures or the VIX is that we may have this right here suggests, uh, given what's going on in the geopolitical realm, and you have to make you have to you justify that you know we should not have VIX any lower than what we got yesterday. Okay, there is a very good justification to think that VIX will be defended at this price point, given the geopolitical climate, and that we could be actually coming up and filling this gap in the 3750 area on the VIX today. So be very mindful of that. Uh, I did say I used monkey bars there Monday, and early on Monday morning we were breaking out of the value area pre-market for last week uh, on on the VX futures. Okay, and we continued lower since then. Okay, but if you go on a 2 week time frame, the point of control puts you down into this area down here. So basically, this VIX volatility explosion, this has happened over the past 2 weeks. So if they're wanting to, based on a time frame, just resolve this within a 2 week time frame, that would potentially put us down into this lower gap fill by the end of the week. So we have to be mindful of that scenario as well. Uh, so but yeah, our point of control based off the past 2 weeks puts us down into this lower uh, gap fill, and that would be a 100% retrace in a 2 week time frame. Uh, and so you can basically put fibs on there from these highs all the way down to that gap low if you want right there, and this gives you some idea where we're at. So basically, we've lost 78.6 of the VIX. Uh, oh, from the past 2 weeks. Okay, from the past 2 weeks, we've lost 78.6. Okay, of the move, and it's initially being defended this morning. A lot of times that can be a reversal spot. So, um, that area being. So let's see how this plays out as a potential reversal spot to the upside. I don't know if it'll play out or not, uh, but it's something to think about. Going forward here. Uh, Bottom line is the edge is to the bears until proven otherwise. Yeah, early on this morning. So be very careful trying to push the long side. Thanks a lot.